What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here in the new year 2023, and I'm leaving 2022 behind because I've got
Gershwan.
And he doesn't like even numbers, I guess.
Nah, I'm still on 2022. I'm not gonna be regular Gershwan until 2024.
I like that. I can respect that because we're here to give you guys more answers than another for the greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. Also, we have super thanks. If you guys want to support the channel, you can. You could ask a question, or you can just give us a super thanks and say thanks for supporting or thanks for creating videos. And if you do give us a super thanks and you have a question, we're gonna answer it for sure.
And that's exactly what the Orange Ninja Turtle has done. Why not just put Mike or Michelangelo, right? That's the one, the orange one. Cowabunga, dude. His question is, what is the Emperor doing right now? His body is half dead on the Golden Throne, but what is his mind doing? Or is he literally just sitting there?
The Emperor is always getting turned. Like, that's just his thing. Like, he's sitting on the Golden Throne for sure, but the presence of his energy is there through the Astronomicon, through the fact that so many sacrifices are being sacrificed. So, like, basically, like, gladiatorial arenas are kind of like to showboat the Emperor of Rome's power. The death of thousands and thousands of psychers is just to showboat the fact that, like, the God Emperor is there.
Yeah.
So he's doing stuff.
Right. He's keeping the Astronomicon going. He's giving miracles to the Sisters of Battle. He's fighting against chaos or working alongside them, depending on what side you choose on that theory. And lastly, he's keeping, the Imperium running behind the scenes. He's kind of like the Emperor was back before the Imperium was a thing.
Right.
He was just kind of slowly guiding humanity and seeing where their innovations and technology and greed would get them.
Right, because you got to think about it like this, and sometimes because especially with the whole concept of like the Emperor was a little girl and a dog going to Zinch's palace. Is Zinch or Slanesh?
I think it was Zeech.
Yeah. If he can split himself into a dog and a girl, why can't he split himself into a Vagabond or something and the God Emperor? So maybe the corpse Emperor that we have on the Golden Throne is a fraction of who he is, but the real Emperor is out and about doing what you said, like basically just guiding humanity without actually being there to guide humanity.
Yeah. The other cool thing that just popped into my head is that even though he is kind of like half dead, he still has some sentience to him, as can be seen when he talks to the Custodes or the Primarchs. He did have like a one-on-one conversation with Guilliman. He also bestowed Guilliman his legit power, which was able to, spoiler alert, win against a chaos-empowered Mortarion. So, yeah.
He's there. He's doing stuff.
Yeah, in mind, body, and spirit.
Believe it and don't take our word as propaganda. It's the truth. The Emperor protects. That's the sign, right?
Yeah.
Next question.
This one is by Iraq9. Could a new religion fix the warp? If the warp is indeed powered by the excess of human emotion and belief, could Buddhism or another chill faith sweep through the Imperium and calm the warp? Or are we way beyond just fixing it?
It's way beyond fixing just because there's more factions than just humanity that's creating the chaos of the warp. As a matter of fact, I would argue that it's the fact that there's so many psychically powerful races that's causing the chaos, because that's the story of the old ones, right?
Exactly. That's what I was about to say.
The old ones was just one race, and they had control of the Immaterium. They created the Webway, and they were able to do that because there was just one race.
Back then, the warp was very tranquil.
Yeah. And then you throw in all these other races. Orcs are not going to get along with humans. Humans are not going to get along with Eldar. And, like, regardless of whether they all believe the same thing, which is almost impossible, you just can't, right? Like, there's so many orcs out there. There's more orcs than there probably is humans. You can't make them worship Buddhism.
Right. Yeah. Eventually, certain species are going to create their own religion based on their beliefs, based on their world. It's the whole nature versus nurture thing. And not just that, but there's just too much going on that the warp will never become tranquil enough to kind of quell.
Right. You don't want that. You want the chaos, the grim dark, and the scariness. I just watched, what is it? Robot, Love, and...
Oh, Love, Death, and Robots?
Yeah. So much 40K influence
on
all
sure.
of them.
Yeah.
But yeah. Next question comes from Bespoken Styling UK. It's 4:35 a.m. in England. Why am I awake? To watch fresh One Mind Syndicate, obviously. Yeah, so like our schedule has changed. In the past, we used to always post 2 videos a day, and they would always go out at midnight Central Time. Now it's different. Now we try to post every 6 hours, and it's not always a video like one of these videos. It's usually like either a short or a video.
Yeah, super thanks. It will really help us in giving you more of that stuff.
Thanks for sure. Yeah.
This one's by Good Jesse Hobbs. How come you guys never answer my questions? Well, there was your chance, man.
Yeah. Also, Jesse's a stupid name.
Jesse. I think I know only 2 Jessies. One is like a super cool, chill old guy that like, he was in some stuff in his youth, but he's like refocused his life and now it's all about pushing positivity.
Right.
And the other one was a wrestler.
Yeah. I feel like there's another Jesse.
Is there?
I thought there was.
There might be, but I'm only thinking of those 2 right now.
Also, the wrestler dated 2 twins.
Oh, yeah.
Or a set of twins at the same time.
Yeah. And is married to one of them. I wonder how the other twin feels about that. But yeah, good Jesse hobbies. Keep trying. We do get a lot of questions, so if your question doesn't make it to one of our videos, it probably got flooded. Also, if you're asking the same question multiple times in a certain video, YouTube may count it as spam and we'll never see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just kind of be careful with that, and luck.
And super thanks. If you really want your question answered, just give us a super thanks. Wow, there's a lot of like plugs for super thanks today.
Yeah, it must be a new year.
New us. What's your catchphrase for 2023? This is a question for you guys too.
My catchphrase has always been, watch out, I'll get slippery when wet. And I think going into 23, I'm not going to say watch out anymore.
Just slippery when wet.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is finish some models. Get back into 40K.
Yeah, it's been 2 years since we played. We really need to jump back.
Yes. Next question.
This one is by H Pizzle 1. Why don't they just breed a bunch of Primaris Ultramarines to govern all the worlds? I know it's costly to train them, but wouldn't just having unaging superhumans governing Imperial worlds be better?
That's a really good question, and it's an answer, or I gave that answer in one of the shorts, but basically, like a longer version of that is that. The Space Marines and the Primaris Marines were not built to be politicians. They were not built to be like peacekeepers, organizers, or anything like that. They were bred for war.
Yeah, they are brutal. They are uncaring for humanity most of the time.
For sure.
And they're going to do what they were meant to do. Weapons of war. They're going to fight until there's nothing to fight, and then they'll find something else to fight.
Exactly, yeah. And then sometimes, so like you have Ultramarine successor chapters that are very like focused on governing their planet and stuff like that. In those situations, it's because they're Ultramarines, and that's because that's their culture. But for the most part, like you said, they're brutal, and most Space Marine chapters do not want to govern.
Yeah. A good example of just showing the brutality of Space Marines and how little they care for humans is all the way in, I want to say it's the second Horus Heresy book, where Horus gets basically fatally wounded, and they're bringing him up to the spaceship, the space station, the battle barge, and all the humans aboard are like, whoa, like Horus fatally injured? What? A Primarch almost dying? So they flock to see what's going on, and obviously these Space Marines don't give a rat's bottom for these humans, and they literally just plow through them, just stampeding over them, crushing them under their boots to get Horus to the infirmary. And like this creates a schism between the humans and the Astartes, because they're like, wow, these are supposed to be our protectors, but in just a blink of an eye, they can completely eradicate us.
Yeah, and it's willful too. It's not just like, in that situation, it feels like they didn't know any better, and they were like, we need to get Horus protected.
No, they were like, I don't give a damn about these people. Like, you guys are like blades of grass to me. I'm just going to walk right over you.
Yeah, and that's another example is Fenris, right?
Yes.
Fenris is governed by the Space Wolves. The Space Wolves do not give a fuck about like the actual tribes that are there.
Yeah.
They see the turmoil and they love it. They're like, well, that's going to breed better warriors. So if generation after generation after generation of suffering has to exist in order to get stronger battle brothers, then we're going to do it.
Yeah, if there's like a village getting besieged by like Kraken and ice trolls and stuff like that, they're not going to help out.
Not at all.
The victors of that, the survivors, will just become stronger and become better aspirants to become Space Marines.
Exactly. Good question.
Yeah.
And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and we'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah, keep those questions coming, and we'll keep those answers going your way. Again, sorry if we can't get to every question, but again, just keep trying. And that's the best, I could offer you, besides super things. You can tell January is not good for revenue. Super things. Yes. This has been The Sound Alchemist.
Gershwan.
And we are out.
Oh, I used to put my freedom first.